Hello, my name is Jordan Georgie and I will be doing your orientation webinar today. Most times I like to do orientation over the phone to get to know you better, but sometimes due to circumstances out of our control or to move the process along quicker, I send this orientation webinar instead because it's also a great tool for you to be able to refer back to throughout your adoption process as well. So whenever you receive the Haiti Orientation email, you notice that it does have a lot of links and information. I urge you to save this email by either bookmarking it or printing it or whatever is easiest to make sure that you do have access to this, because you'll need to access these checklists again several times throughout the adoption process, as you'll be downloading and uploading PDFs to this online portal. You may need to refer to some of the other information in this email as well as you move forward. In order to access the checklist in our portal, you will need to sign in using the same email and password that you used whenever you completed your online application with Nightlight. Also, there is a link posted here as well as in the email for password help should you require that, so just know that if you do have any issues with your password, you can use this link to get that fixed. So we will be discussing several items to get you started on your adoption journey, and hopefully by the end of this talk you will have a better grasp on all that is required and an idea of where you need to start. I promise you that you will feel quite overwhelmed, but there are ways to break the process into parts so that it seems more manageable. Today we will be going over Hague orientation topics, talking about choosing home study providers, touching on parent education, discussing filing your I-800A with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, talking through the service plan, and answer any questions that you have about the dossier instructions for Haiti. Nightlight has been in operation since the 1950s. In addition to many international programs, we also offer domestic programs, home study services, foster programs, and Nightlight pioneered the Snowflakes embryo adoption as well. So the Missouri office where the Haiti program is run out of is formerly known as Love Basket, which was established in 1982. Love Basket was founded on the India program in 1982 and eventually had several country programs in addition to the domestic program as well. Love Basket officially merged with Nightlight in 2016. Nightlight is fully accredited in Haiti. Nightlight staff on the Haiti program have been working in international adoptions for more than 20 years and regularly travels to Haiti to meet with our in-country coordinator and to visit with the children in the orphanage called a crèche. Haiti became a HIG country on April 1, 2014. Children are matched through the country's central authority referred to as IBESR. Nightlight has a positive and close relationship with both IBESR and the United States Embassy Consular Office in Port-au-Prince. So that is just some information about Nightlight and our Missouri office and our Haiti program and how they were founded. So the best way that I have found to go through the documents is to go to that Haiti Orientation email and open up that orientation checklist. In the dossier webinar that is also linked in your orientation email, each document of the dossier is explained by explaining its purpose. I am happy to answer any remaining questions that you have after you have reviewed that webinar, and we can also schedule a phone call too to discuss any remaining questions that you have. Next, I will discuss why children in Haiti are available for adoption. In the 1700s, Haiti was once a French colony and considered more valuable than Paris, and called the Pearl of the Antilles. Most of its wealth was due to the sugar production and slave population. Today, it is the most impoverished country in the Western Hemisphere, even though it has the highest percentage of missionaries and other forms of support through non-government organizations. In fact, more than 80% of Haitians live in poverty, with 54% living in abject poverty. Because of violence and lack of infrastructure, Haiti has the highest number of orphans in the Western Hemisphere. It is estimated that the country has over 400,000 true orphans, which are children without both parents able to care for them. In addition, childhood deaths are very high in Haiti, and clinics and hospitals have too few resources and healthcare professionals. 1 in 8 children dies before their 5th birthday, usually from preventable disease such as pneumonia, tuberculosis, malaria, or diarrhea. A Haiti child becomes available for international adoption either by abandonment or birth parent relinquishment. I will next explain these two processes, followed by an explanation of how the legal adoption process is completed. If a child is abandoned to a local orphanage or other place, such as in the marketplace, and a family member cannot be found to care for the child, documents are prepared for the court from the mayor of the town the child was abandoned in. The child is placed in a crèche. Abandoned children's cases tend to take a long time to process since it is the mayor's responsibility to complete the process along with a family council team. If a new mayor takes office during the process must start over. If a child is released for adoption by one of his birth parents, they are usually released by their mother. Generally, birth parents choose an adoption plan for their children due to extreme poverty, illness, addiction, homelessness, or rejection of the child by a current partner. The mother and/or father must be interviewed and educated by IBESR to determine if interventions can take place for family preservation. If IBESR determines that the best interest of the child is in an adoption plan, then the birth parents go to court to terminate their parental rights. The children upon placement in a crèche have likely suffered malnutrition, may have infectious diseases and developmental delays, have cold symptoms and/or fungal rashes. Because children come from very impoverished homes, they may have lead exposure and have likely consumed polluted water. When a birth parent relinquishes a child, the crèche creates a child dossier including social history created by an IBESR social worker, medical report that includes a certificate of health and labs reflecting TB, HIV, and sickle cell testing, a psychological evaluation, and a birth certificate. Once the child dossier is completed along with termination of birth parental rights in the court, the child is then ready to be officially matched with an adoptive family. The most current laws in Haiti can be found online through links that Nightlight has been provided with. Now that we have gone over the Hague Orientation topics such as the reason children are available for adoption in Haiti, post-adoption report requirements, adoption laws, and the reason for the decrease in international adoption, we will next need you to sign and date the Hague Orientation topics electronic form. It is important for you to review this document thoroughly and then sign and date it. Anyone who is adopting internationally must have an approved home study applied to receive pre-approval to adopt from USCIS or the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, and prepare a set of documents called a dossier, which will be submitted to Haiti for approval. Different countries require different documents, so that is why dossier documents are specific to Haiti. All of these topics are discussed in the Hague Orientation topics that you will need to sign and date. If you have any questions regarding any of this, feel free to contact me. There are several holidays in Haiti in which the Haitian government and IBESR could potentially shut down to observe. I've listed these on this slide here for you to refer back to throughout the adoption process. Next, we will talk about choosing a home study provider. Nightlight is your placing agency for Haiti. If you live in a state where we have a Nightlight office, we will also be your home study agency. If you live outside of our serviced area, you must choose a Hague-accredited home study provider. It is imperative under Haiti rules and as a Nightlight requirement that your home study agency must be Hague-accredited. If you live in a state served by Nightlight, you will soon be contacted by that office to begin the home study process. If you do not, there is more information to help you locate a Hague-accredited provider within the orientation email. You can click on the link where a list of Hague-accredited home study providers are listed by state, or you can contact me at jordan@nightlight.org, and I can also give you the names of agencies that we have worked with that are on our preferred provider list. Finally, once your application has been accepted by the Home Study Provider Agency, please complete and upload the Nigeria Service Plan as well as the Home Study Provider Information documents located on your International Orientation Documents checklist. It is very important that you return this before you begin the home study process. The first reason is because Nightlight must have an exempt provider agreement in place with the agency prior to you beginning the home study. Secondly, it helps us to assure that the home study agency provider is a Hague accredited agency. It is also important to note, if you do start the home study process prior to providing Nightlight with your home study information, you may have to choose another provider, and this can result in losing any money that you have paid to a previous provider. Once you complete your home study, which can take anywhere to 2 to 4 months or longer depending on how quickly you and your social worker are able to obtain documentation, you will then be ready to file the Form I-800A, Application for Determination of Suitability to Adopt a Child from a Convention Country, with USCIS. This is a form that you will complete once your home study has been finalized, as you are required to mail in an original, completed, and finalized home study along with the application. So this is nothing to worry about now, but later on in the process, once your home study is finalized, you may go ahead and apply for your I-800A for the immigration approval. And then you can continue to work on completing your dossier documents. This is also something that once you do complete this, you can scan a copy to Nikki to review or to me, and I will get it to her to make sure that we both get it reviewed, and we'll just make sure that it's all correct and complete for you before you mail that off if you would like. When you received the orientation email and opened the portal, you had access to an orientation document checklist as well as a separate checklist for international parent education documents. A link was provided to a webinar explaining Nightlight's parent education requirements. If you have not yet watched this, you will need to go back and do so that your parent education will not be delayed. If you have not yet received the link to this webinar or the PDF, Go ahead and send me an email at jordan@nightlight.org so that I can get that sent to you. As a recap to the education webinar, all adoptive families are required to complete 10 hours of Hague education prior to completing their home study, and additional education requirements consist of reading about and understanding post-adoption stress and depression, completing a post-adoption support plan, learning about the history and culture of your child's country, speaking with a parent who has previously adopted a child from Haiti through Nightlight, and reading a book titled The Connected Child. You will end up with more than 12 hours of education to help prepare you for parenting an adopted child. It is important to note that these things have to be done so that they can be cited in your home study, so they do need to be completed before your home study is finalized so that it is all cited by your social worker that it has been completed. So the next document that I want to bring your attention to is the Child Preference Form. This is a document that is used to identify your preferences for a child as to gender, age range, and medical needs. You should have already completed this and returned this to me in order for Nikki to review it along with your application, but if this is something you have not completed yet, let me know and I will get you that link as soon as possible. As this aids Nikki in being able to match you with your child once you're at that point of waiting for referral so that she can refer to what age you're open to and approved for, as well as the special needs that you're open to. Please know that this document may be updated throughout the adoption process, so you are able to adjust your preferences as you continue to be educated about adoption and talk to others who have adopted children with specific special needs, and as you meet with medical professionals to determine what you feel that you can handle. The service plan is a document that identifies the 6 adoption services that are rendered in intercountry adoptions and who is responsible for providing each service. Nightlight Christian Adoptions is your primary provider and placing agency for a child from Haiti. As your primary provider, we will coordinate your adoption, help identify a child for adoption, and arrange for the adoption. We will also work with the agency providing your home study and coordinate with the staff to provide translation and travel arrangements in Haiti. As a primary service provider, Nightlight is available to assist you whether you are in the United States or traveling abroad. We will be working with our foreign supervised provider, Lahomie Auburg, who works directly with the Central Authority in Haiti, IBESR. IBESR and the crutches are responsible for identifying children who are available for adoption, arranging the adoptions, and securing the necessary paperwork showing termination of parental rights and the agreement to adoption. You will not have direct contact with IBESR. As discussed, IBESR works with our foreign supervised provider, Lahomie. Lahomie is also an attorney who is a very productive, organized, proactive, and hard worker. Not only does she work with the Central Authority daily, but she also coordinates with the courts, ministries, and our embassy in Port-au-Prince for every step of the adoption process. Lahomie also visits the crutches our children are in to check on them. Lahomie is a single mother of 2 teenage boys. She and her boys are fluent in French, Haitian Creole, and English. She also assists our families during travel, providing transportation and translation services. On this form, please fill in the name of your home city agency and their phone number, as well as the social worker from that agency and their contact information. Nightlight and your home city provider will make non-judicial termination in the best interest of a child and the appropriateness of an adoptive placement for a child. IBESR, in conjunction with Nightlight and our foreign supervised provider, will monitor a case after a child has been placed with our family. In Haiti, it is required for both parents to travel to Haiti for the first trip, called the Socialization Trip, which is a 15-day bonding trip in Haiti. During this trip, a social worker from IBESR will visit you toward the end of your trip to see that you, the family, is bonding with the child. Travel information will be sent to you upon referral acceptance, and you will have a travel orientation phone call. After your socialization trip, there are several other steps and paperwork processes that will take place before you travel for your second trip. These steps include filing your I-800, a visa interview with the child, the crutch does that, a visa application, and the embassy issuing an Article 5 letter to IBESR signifying that your child will be able to immigrate. Then an adoption authorization letter provided by IBESR for the courts takes place. Once the case is released from IBESR to go to court, the judgment is scheduled in court, in which the biological parents or family counsel goes to appear in court to notify them that the adoption will be final in 30 days. After the 30-day period, the Adoption Act is issued by the court and goes through legalization process via National Archives, the Ministry of Justice, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. During this time, Lahomie will get the Article 23 letter from IBESR, which indicates to the U.S. government that the adoption has followed the Hague process. And once the Article 23 letter is issued, the child will go to an embassy panel physician for their medical appointment for their visa. The last step of the process, that's a Haitian step, is legalization from the Ministry of Interior. The MOI's Immigration Department issues a Haitian passport with the child's new legal adopted name. Once we obtain the passport, the documents are then submitted to the U.S. Embassy Consular Office in Port-au-Prince. The U.S. consulate staff will email you and Nightlight to notify that the visa has been issued, and then you can pick up your visa packet and your child. Only an adoptive parent can pick up the visa packet, and an appointment is not necessary. IBESR will also issue an exit letter permitting you to leave Haiti with your adopted child. Haitian law requires that at least one parent must be in country for the second trip for 6 days. And that is only if a socialization trip has taken place. I know this is a lot of steps, but just know that we will be with you to guide you through the process. As you continue on through each step of the process, you'll be in touch with your adoption advisor, and they will be able to let you know exactly what the next step is. So you don't have to feel a pressure to remember all of that. We're here to support you and answer any questions that you have along the way. The last thing I want to discuss is the dossier instruction booklet. I trust that you were able to read through that booklet and also watch the webinar which touches on specific documents and items. Typically, I would answer any questions about the dossier at this time, but since this is a recording, we will now need to set up a phone call to discuss any additional questions that you may have about the dossier instructions, as I will be working with you throughout the dossier process. If at any time you have any questions about the dossier documents, my email address is listed here, which is jordan@nightlight.org. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have along your dossier process. At this point, your orientation is complete. You have a checklist on our online portal with some orientation documents that you need to either sign and upload or sign electronically. You have watched a webinar regarding parent education and all of the parent education documents located under the International Education Checklist in our portal. You have reviewed the Haiti dossier booklet, watched the dossier webinar, and will next be reaching out to me to discuss the dossier and any further questions you have regarding that. You are probably wondering, where in the world do I start and what do I do next? Our suggestion is to identify and talk to the agency that will be doing your home study. Once you talk to them, and that includes if you are in a Nightlight state, they will be contacting you, you can then finish your service plan and home study information sheet, which are both under the orientation checklist, and make sure that they are approved to be your home study provider, and then you can begin your parent education at that point. Don't forget to submit your documents as they are completed, and as always, if you ever have any issues with downloading or uploading PDFs from your checklist, feel free to email me and I can get that to you, or get documents uploaded for you if you have issues with that. So this concludes the webinar. Please contact me now at jordan@nightlight.org to let me know that you've completed watching this webinar so that we can set up your orientation phone call where I can answer any dossier related questions that you have or any other questions that you have after reviewing all of this orientation information. Have a great day, and I look forward to working with you on your adoption journey.